kicked out, or we gotta murder hobo an entire
I think
village.
we had to keep an eye on this guy, someone on this guy, make sure he doesn't sneak out and do something stupid here.
That's fine, we can set up a guard or whatever. That person will be a little tired, but whatever.
Just saying.
Listen, we gotta do something, so let's take a course of action. Do we agree that we wait till morning and then do what we want to do?
Yeah, I agree with wait till morning.
Okay, that's what we do. Boom. DM, we wait till morning.
Okay. So, yes. Okay, so where are you guys all going then? Are you going to ask for a place to stay? Do you have a plan for the evening?
Let's camp in the forest.
Who are you asking where you're staying? Yeah.
Yeah. Do they have an inn that's not destroyed?
No.
I just go and stay at the hospital because they love me now, and so I go there.
It's more of like a temporary infirmary, but yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I will go sleep with the wounded and the sick. Do my somewhat paladin thing.
I will sleep nearby people too, but I'll put up Liamon's tiny hut.
Okay, so
and
everyone
wants to sleep in it with me needs to get in it when I cast it.
Okay, so everyone.
I'll get in the hut.
Okay, so where's the hut? Is it in the forest?
I want to be in the town if they'll let me.
Okay.
But I'll put it out of the way. I'll sort of like ask like, okay, where's a good place?
Okay,
I assume that there's like some rubble and stuff that needs to be cleared, and
just
so I don't get in the way of their work.
Yeah, they give you a spot. They give you a spot at the I don't know, 'cause it's close to where the town meeting happened.
Yeah, and I mean we'll volunteer to help with the town's defense should it be needed.
Yep. Sounds good.
As a trade-off.
Okay.
For letting us stay.
Great. So Erlogos, you snuck off when the party was having that conversation. Nobody saw it. What were you doing when that happened?
I'm going to go talk to this guy.
Okay.
No, everybody seems to condemn it, but I just have the strong urge that it is wrong.
Okay.
So I'm going to go talk with him and tell him.
Okay, so you guys are still, so he is still like, he's talking to people, not like a lot. He's not making any presentations, but he's kind of having a conversation with a fellow elf when you get up to him.
I'll tell him if he can spare a few minutes. It would be greatly appreciated.
He says yes, of course, and he says, he says, Bialer, I will see you soon. Have a good evening. And then he says, yes. How can I help you?
I'll begin by telling him I'm terribly sorry for my party, my compatriots that travel with me.
He looks confused. He's like he interrupts you a little and says, why? And then he says, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Continue.
But they were disrespectful to you. You've had troubling times here recently, and their prying questions can be quite invasive, and they believe that you are harboring secrets from them, and they are condemning it without any reason. And I do not believe you are harboring any kind of secrets such as what they are stating. And I would like to be a conduit for your side, because maybe they'll speak to me better than if you were talking to them directly.
He says, okay. Yeah.
I'll just ask him, can you please discuss everything that has occurred here? They seem to believe that there are holes in your story where there may not be any. Specifically, they believe that you might have caused the dragon attack, but I do not believe so.
Once you mentioned dragon attack, he says, he puts his finger up to his lip, and he says, come with me, and he brings you up to his modest dwelling, in the upper boughs, and he motions for you to enter the sitting room.
I'll go in.
He says, yes, I just don't want to cause a panic. I'm sure you understand. And
that is
he sits
quite a good idea.
He sits down in the chair next to you, and on the little nightstand type thing, he takes a picture, and he looks at it, and it's a picture of his of a young elf, female elf, and he starts tearing up a little bit, and then he gives you the picture, and he says, she was we had been together for the past 337 years. Our 338th anniversary was coming up.
I'll tell him she's quite lovely. I can see the passion in your eyes now, even with her departed.
He says yes. Let me think of a name for her. He says yes, Silith. He says, yes, Silith and I met we met as children. Please hold one sec. We met as children at around I think it was my 60th year when we first met, and things started slow, but I would say at 100 we certainly weren't dating, but we would go off into the night and spend all night looking at the stars, and I just can't believe she's gone.
I'll tell him it's I understand the pain and your loss. I can't even come close to fathoming that kind of a situation occurring to me, as I am but a lonely bachelor traveling the lands.
He puts his hand out in front of him, and he looks at it at the ring, at a ring he's wearing, and he slides the ring off, and he says, this is he slides the ring off, looks at it, and then puts it back on himself, and he says, I remember our marriage. It was a feast of our two houses. It was truly a special occasion. And then he takes a he takes a wrist or an anklet off, and he says, this is her mother gave me this at the wedding, and I've never taken it off. He doesn't take it off. He points to it. He says, I've never taken it off. It's I just cannot imagine that she's gone. I remember when I saw her last seconds on this world, and he starts to tear up.
I'll ask him. I was like, this may be quite disrespectful. Please feel free not to answer, but could you please explain what had happened? Was she directly attacked by the dragon or a cultist, or was she...
He says, yes, I understand. You're just researching this. It may be hard for me, but I guess she's just another person in the investigation. Well, she was down at the school teaching some of the children, and when we heard the noise, she gathered everyone up and and brought them into the started taking them towards the temple, and as we got to the temple, and I see her running into the temple, and just as she was getting into the temple, Aerolith was exiting, and there was a huge mass of people, and some were coming into the temple. The children were going in, and many were leaving the temple, and then that was the last time I saw her. The next time I saw her, she was already on the ground, choking to death.
I'll sit in a moment of silence.
And then he just like starts weeping hysterically, and he says, just after seeing her killed, I came face to face with the man, with him myself, and I begged for my life. I offered anything in return. I knew that we were done. I spoke to the rider of the dragon, and I became a pawn of his, in a sense. I agreed to his terms to save my own life and the life of my compatriots.
Well, what did you give in return of the safety of your...
I gave him I gave the elf information on other settlements in the area. He wanted to know where they were, so I told him, and then they left.
I know you must feel completely saddened about this, and having to give up that information to save your own. It is quite noble, and survival of the fittest.
It was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made, and
I
didn't even have time to think. I just instinctively did it.
In that kind of situation,
I was but an animal on the ground begging for my life, as I was face to face with him.
And in situations like that, nobody knows what they would do. And I'm here to help rectify that. My group is quite skilled at killing dragons. We have killed a few, and we have dealt with these cultists time and time again. And if you would be willing to share that information once again, we might be able to protect these other communities and rectify what has been done.
He says, I understand it. Well, I don't know where the dragon could be, but I did see him fly off to the southeast, and yeah.
I think that'll probably be a good starting location.
Yeah, I remember the man that I was talking to. He was soaking wet. His hair, his clothes drenched in water. I thought it weird that here he is attacking my village, and yet he just went swimming. I didn't know what to think.
This is good information. This might mean that they are holding up in an area of water. I'll pull out my cartographer's tools and my maps of the regions, and I'll ask him, like, would you be able to please mark any settlements here on this empty map with no guide points, and then I'll put another map next to it as a reference for where different villages may be. That way, if somebody gets a hold of the map, the elven settlements are not compromised by our hands yet again.
He says, of course, you truly are a brilliant young one. In all my years, I would not have thought of that. He says, bring me the map. He says, set it down, and you set it down, and he takes out a quill, he dips it in ink, and then marks the locations.
I'll also have him mark on the actual map any bodies of water that he knows of, specifically anything that is large, like also containing a waterfall or a lake.
Yeah, he knows of a couple like waterfalls and stuff in the area, and he marks them on the ground. He marks, a couple different waterfalls, as well as he marks 3 waterfalls, as well as a river that flows through much of the misty forest, and yeah.
Okay. And I'll ask him, is there anything else you can assist us with that might be useful in tracking these cultists and slaying them and removing them from the face of this, on the face of the realm?
He says, yes, there's one more thing, but I can't tell you now. I'll have to show you.
Is it something you can show me now before morning? Or is it something that we must wait?
I think we should go now before while no one else sees us. We don't want the wrong people seeing us.
I perfectly agree. I would prefer to go now and get all the information so that I may stay my allies and their inquiry and make this the best situation we can.
He says, of course, then let us go. And he goes into the closet or the wardrobe, and he takes 2 cloaks out, and he gives you one. He says, it's cold out here, and he puts one on himself, and he opens the cage of the raven. The raven flies up onto his shoulder, and he says, and he motions for you to follow him, and he sneaks out of the. You guys kind of like sneak out of the village. You're kind of like going along the outer rim, and you walk for about a mile or so, and eventually you get to a clearing in the forest. And there's brush there, but the brush has been, been crushed and like, so it's not high anymore, as if something used to like be on top of this, and he says, I saw one of our kinsmen. I had someone follow him, and he used to come here, and he met someone.
Your kinsman had met someone, or
another elf.
Okay.
Of the village. Iavos.
What? So kinsman had met Iavos, and
no. Iavos is the villager.
Is the villager, and who did he meet out here?
He met a man, who I assume had something to do with the fight. It was an elf wearing purple robes. Is what my spy said. He had purple robes and a gold and golden fingers. He had a.
Did he by chance have a mask?
Yes, he did. I believe he had a green mask.
This is the information that we are seeking. We're in a search for these masks.
And the spy who I had follow him, he said he looked an awful lot like Oligarthus, but not identical.
Do I know who Algarthus is out of character?
No.
Okay.
Are you going to ask him who it is?
Yeah, I'll ask who it is.
He says, Prince Aligarthus. Prince of the Misty Forest, son of Melendroch.
Okay, so it looked like him, but it wasn't him.
He says, yeah.
In what way were there similarities? In what way were there differences? Or do you not know?
I mean, I wasn't there to see, as I've said, but the facial similarities is what I understand.
But somebody possibly of that kinship or tribe or village.
It's certainly possible. I more than that I cannot tell you. I was not there. I'm only relaying what someone else told me.
And is Ivo still around for us to ask, or was he possibly expired in the last attack?
I haven't seen Ivo since the attack, so I assume he perished, though we haven't seen his body.
Very well. This is all good information. If there's nothing else, I think it would be wise to head back now. That there may be things lurking here.
Of course. Let us go back, and he leads you back.
Okay. And at this point, I will ask him, do you mind if I stay here in the front of your living quarters?
And then before you, on your way back, at the end of the conversation when he said that, the very last thing was Iavos, they didn't find Iavos's body, and when that happened, the raven started cawing, and
I'll ask him, does your raven by chance know more?
He says, no.
Then what? He seems to be interested in this, in Iavos.
Oh, I think that's just birds being birds.
Can I do insight?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old 2.
Well, you get the sense that he might be dismissing the bird for some reason. Yeah.
I'll ask him. This is quite important. And any more information any information we can gather, and if Ios is possibly to be found, that this might provide better information to us in dealing with this situation.
He says, yes, I,
please leave nothing out.
He says, yes, Nivos was, was always quiet and kept to himself, but, I was surprised to hear that he was spying, but indeed Nivos was spying, and
Nivos the bird?
And he's referring to he's referring to the spy.
Okay.
Give me a insight or perception, whichever's higher.
Perception by far.
And so he continues talking. He says, yes, Nivos was, we'd been tracking him. He'd been coming here twice a week for 3 weeks. But Nivos, you see, used to come and play with my bird. You see, Nivos was a bit of an ornithologist, if you will. And you notice that he has changed the guy's name from Iavos to Nivos.
I'll ask him, like, is Ivos even part of your... Or is he someone from outside?
He says, no, Ivos was a member of our city. That's how he used to play with this little guy.
It sounded like he was a traveler, according to what you were just saying, and you referred to him as Nivos. I can't but help think that there's something you are hiding. You seem to be on edge.
No, not at all. You see, we should really get back, but no, Ivos was. You must be mishearing me. I've said Ivos. I've known Ivos for at least 100 years. And
I'll tell him, like, I've been around enough people to understand when they're hiding something, and I just can't help but what it is with you. Something is just catching my ear with this.
I'm
You
sorry.
have been
Even
helpful so far, please.
Since I've lost my wife, my mind has been scattered, and we've lost so many villagers. I must remember all of their names as the new leader, and I've been talking at their memorials. I'm sorry, it was a mere slip of the tongue.
So,
Give me a charisma check with advantage.
crap. Wait, charisma?
Yep, charisma.
I'll just click the save. Not bad for a -1.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not your thought process a second ago was what you think. You think he might be, like changing something around or making something up. You're not sure.
I'll tell him, it's like, I have people here that are quite interested in getting information out of you, and I'm trying to do this the most peaceful way as possible.
He says,
And
I've already told you everything I know. Your accusations, you're just as bad as your compatriots.
please don't misunderstand this. I perfectly understand what you're getting at, but why have... There just appears to be something about Ivos, and I'll look at the bird and be like, your familiar companion here appears to have know something about Ivos, and you haven't been really truthful with me.
I mean, you're free to talk to my bird.
The only problem is I cannot hear his response.
Well, as far as I know, he will have no response. He is a bird, after all.
I'll ask him. I'll speak up and be like, Senor Bird.
As you do this,
there's something about Ivos that he has not been.
Okay. As you say, speak up, bird. He's gonna interrupt you and tell you the bird's name. What's the party doing during this time? Getting ready for bed?
Yeah.
They're like all.
I just want to give them ask them what they're up to, because split screen.
We're gonna go take nap.
Yeah, I assume I'm casting a tiny hut.
Haven't really noticed the ranger's gone.
Well, no, we would have noticed by now that you weren't here.
I don't know, because when we were in that iceberg, I sat at the entrance for about an hour.
Again, we knew you were gone. It's just the fact that we thought you were gonna. You said you were gonna go sleep in this forest, anyways. So that's why we're not looking for you.
Oh.
But yeah, first thing in the morning. I mean, just going down.
Well, unless Legolas tells us what he just learned, in which case there's really no point in talking to him.
Yeah, no, Uthgar does not believe him remotely.
Not yet. So
he interrupts you.
Uthgar thinks direct solution is best solution.
He interrupts you when you say Mr. Bird. He says Ivosar.
Ivosar. Is there anything about Ivos? And I paused there for a moment, trying to think if there's some kind of connection between the bird's name, Ivos' name.
The bird doesn't really respond to anything you say. It kind of looks around and then just caws.
And I'll continue. It's like, is Ivos? Is there something about Ivos I need to know? Please caw if you believe so.
The bird suddenly lifts up and starts flying back to town, and as it does so, it turns its head and caws at you.
And I'll tell him, it's like, I have a feeling we are meant to follow him. And I take off after the bird.
He says, I'm sure he just wants his dinner. I forgot to feed him today.
I'll yell back, I'm already 90 feet ahead of you, better catch up.
He begins to follow you, but he's an elf and he's faster than you, and the bird takes you back to...
Is he faster with cunning action?
No, you're the same speed. I'm just estimating. It's not going to really matter. The bird is flying back towards the bird flies back to the town, and you follow him, and the bird just flies back to Galen's cage, to Galen's home, and just sits and gets in his cage. And then once you land there, you get in the city, in the town. Your Galen is maybe 100 feet behind you, and when the bird comes in first, and you're very tired and winded, and right when you step in, the bird caws 3 times. Actually, the bird caws 5 times. He goes caw 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 caw. And then he hops. Then he hops down into his cage. He was standing on the edge of glory.
I'll ask real quick. Is there anything underneath you that I need to look at? Or search for?
He doesn't respond.
Is there something in this room that I need to find? That deals with Ivos.
He caws and then he caws, and then Galen, also winded, comes in, and he says, "See, he's just back in his cage. Good bird." And he says, "Good, Iosar," and he goes underneath his cage and he gets some food and he pours it in his bowl.
I'll ask the bird. Is all you wanted was food?
He says, "I don't know why you're talking to the bird. It's getting awfully late. I'm going to lie down. Have you found a place to stay yet? I guess you're more than welcome to stay here."
I will probably stay here. But do you mind if I continue conversing with your bird?
I mean, I'd much rather you stop so we can go to sleep. We have a long day ahead of us, and you especially.
That is quite true. But
and wouldn't your party be worried if you just suddenly disappeared?
Hell no, they left me in a glacier for an hour. They won't know the difference. And I say that too. So.
He looks confused. He's like, "Left you in a glacier. Sit down. This is a story I want to hear. Tell me.
But maybe tomorrow. I'm one story unfolding at a time.
Very well. He says, "This indeed." He says, feel free to make yourself at home. And he says, I'm gonna go get ready for the evening.
Very well. And as he turns around and walks away, I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on him.
Okay. He walks into the bathroom. Does he know when you cast Hunter's Mark on him?
Not that I know of. It doesn't say anything about they know.
Okay, cool. Yep, he walks into the bathroom.
Okay. And I'll continue asking the bird, is there...
Are you, like, full length, full volume? Like, what, are you whispering to the bird? How are you communicating?
I'll keep it quiet.
Yeah. Like, are you quiet enough so this guy can't hear you, or what?
Yeah. It's like, is there something around here that I need to see in respect to Ivos?
The bird, you never closed the cage of the bird, correct?
No.
The bird jumps down, he hops onto the ground and then walks over to the bathroom door. And then he motions the in there, and then he walks back and jumps up into his cage.
I'll ask him, is he Ivos?
Ah!
Hell yeah. Okay. Is the person that was who he is impersonating as, did he kill him?
The bird doesn't reply.
Is he impersonating this other person?
Bird does not reply.
Does the rest of the town know him as Ivos?
Cool. He does not reply.
Speechless.
Bird does not reply.
So they do not know him as Ivos.
The bird does not reply. What is that? You asked the bird. So
no, that's just me reaffirming my own knowledge.
Okay, I was wondering if you were phrasing the question in the affirmative rather than the negative.
No.
Or negative instead of affirmative.
I'll ask. Is he impersonating? Is he an imposter to the community?
The bird does not reply.
Are you his pet, familiar, companion?
The bird like jumps up and then jumps down.
Is he your master? Try and affirm it in a different.
The guy the bird looks at his food, and then he looks at his food and then he lifts up his wings as if being like, I don't know, I guess.
I'll ask him, do you want to be my companion now?
The bird does the same gesture.
I totally would like a go the beast route for free. I'll ask him, is him being Ivos what you wanted me to know? Is there something more that I need to find out about him?
He just kind of lifts up his wings.
Is there anything he's hiding beyond this?
He says nothing. Or he lifts up his wings again.
Okay. I'll knock on the... I'll tell the bird, please return, and I'll knock on the door. And say, I really have to pee.
He says, okay, and he opens the door while and you see he's brushing his teeth. He says, and then he steps out.
I'll ask him, or I'll go into the bathroom and do my business real quick and come back out. And it's do you have a moment more where we can speak?
He says, you're really quite the hassle as a house guest. He says, I guess, but
you're not the first one to tell me that.
He says, I'd really like to go to sleep. Can it wait until the morning?
It could, but I have a feeling the consequences of that may be more difficult for you than it will be for me.
He says, I can't imagine what you're talking about. Please, let me go to sleep.
I'll tell him, like, if you know my compatriots, you'll understand. Are you Ivos?
He says, Ivos are? That's my bird. I just told you that.
No, you're Ivos.
Hmm.
I have making suspicion that you are Ivos.
Oh, no, my spy can confirm that he followed Ivos into the into the river. I've known Ivos a long time. He was in here, but
I thought you were I thought you. Something's not making sense here.
his story is straight out of character. What were you saying there?
I'm getting confused.
He had a
Ivos was his spy. And
no. Sorry, Ivos is not his spy. He said he had a spy follow Ivos and saw Ivos talking to the other guy in the forest.
Oh, sorry, I've been on the completely wrong track.
Yes,
that Ivos was his spy.
No.
So he said that. Okay, out of character. There's the guy in the robes who looks like the prince of Elven Evil guy.
Yeah.
There's Ivos who was talking to him. Then there was this guy's spy who followed Ivos. And
yes.
Then there's this guy.
Yes. And then there's Ivosar, the bird.
The bird.
And then there's Nivos, the name mess up.
Ivos. I'll ask, where's the spy that you had sent after Ivos?
He unfortunately perished in the attack.
And can I make?
And then as this, he says, "Oh my God." He suddenly has a realization. He puts his hand. He's like, "Oh my God."
Okay. I'll continue.
He says, "This is terrible, or good. I'm not sure."
Let's continue. I'm kind of slow.
He can't you see the dragon attacked our town to take out Erewhon. Sorry, Erewhon being the spy. And then once that mission was complete, he left.
So
Erewhon must have, seen Ivos and him together, or Ivos, and knew that he was tracking on. Oh my gosh. This makes sense now. We have to do something.
Yeah, of course. And can I do insight to hear that this is what I'm supposed to be finding? Because I'm really confused.
Yeah, give me an insight check.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God, I just rolled a natural 20.
Did I still win?
Yeah, because you have a +2.
Sweet.
You get the sense that this guy is like a damn good improviser, but he's clearly making shit up as he goes. Like it's very few people would notice, but your keen senses, like you get the sense that like I legitimately rolled a natural 20. Yeah, you get this.
I'll be like, I believe you.
He says, "Oh my God."
I believe this is the revelation that the bird wanted us.
He says, "Oh my gosh." Well, what should we do? Should we act now? I think
I'll tell him. I'm done with my inquiry now. Try and get some sleep.
He says, "Very well." He says, "Erewhon's family must know." I will tomorrow. We will tell Erewhon's family.
Yes, we'll let them sleep for tonight and deliver the bad news in the morning.
Yes, very well.
And I will go find the group now.
Okay. He says, I thought you were sleeping here tonight when you begin to leave.
I tell him, I was like, I just need a a quick breather before I go to bed. It's part of my evening ritual to get a walk in, clear my head, some fresh air before I lay down.
He says, "Of course, I understand."
And I will go ahead and leave.
Okay.
Go find a shiny, tiny hut.
Okay.
And I will go find the shiny, tiny hut.
You find your party in the shiny, tiny hut. You're not able to enter the shiny, tiny hut.
I'll knock.
Okay, you knock on the shiny, tiny hut.
Hello?
Your party sees that there's someone outside the shiny, tiny hut. He looks an
Hello?
awful lot like Erlogos.
Sucks that you can't get in.
Let me in.
That's kind of not an option.
You're on. Let me in. I'll keep knocking. And...
How
I put my head out of the wall.
how rested? How far are we? Are we like almost asleep? Like he's just interrupting, and we're like, oh, now I gotta spend another 10 minutes getting all this ready again.
You're very like, yeah. You guys were like, he'd been gone for about an hour. You guys were like about to go to sleep. You figured he was like sleeping out in the woods like he has before, and
I just took my head out of the wall. Yes?
I have some information you all might like.
Okay, I'm listening.
And I will start relaying everything that I just said. Sure,
Oh,
I've
so
gone
what
through.
we said in the beginning is like what we suspected in the beginning was right. Is what
Alright,
we're
he
saying.
gets about a third of the way
partial
through his story. Uthgar stands up, grabs his sheath, puts his weapon in his sheath, and immediately starts walking towards the guy's hut.
I'll tell Uthgar, please.
We're
please
still
finish
waiting
the
for...
story.
Can we do this
Nope.
tomorrow, Uthgar?
Uthgar is going right towards his hut.
Okay, bye. Have fun with that.
I'm not going with him.
What
In
you think of
fact, I'm
yourself,
packing
bye.
up and leaving the town before.
Okay.
Because I am not ready for. I am not ready for whatever might happen after we spring this on him. So
fine.
yeah, I'm gonna leave the town. If he's walking toward the guy looking to basically spring the trap, I'm leaving.
I'm following Gyron.
okay. So you guys you dismiss this hut. Giron and Blue start leaving the town.
Yeah, we try to ask Uthgar to wait till tomorrow, and he won't, so I leave.
Okay, and Tim, what are you doing?
He fell asleep from the roleplay.
What are they doing?
Some of them are leaving the town. Some of them are going to confront the Galen.
Well, so far one person is going to confront him.
Yes, Uthgar is on his way to confront him. The rest of us like, no.
If
not a good
the
idea.
ranger is coming, if the ranger is following the people that are leaving the town, then I don't know if you have a way to cover our tracks, but if you would please do so, that would be great.
I'm going back into town.
Wait, you're going back? Okay.
You guys are already in town, so you don't need to go back
Yeah,
into town.
it's like there's something he's hiding, and
So Urkelas is
Yeah,
following
it's-
I
the
need
power.
to know what it is.
To me, it's not anything that can't wait until tomorrow, and that's why I don't want to be
I
there
agree,
when
but-
Roger or when Uthgar ruins everything that by confronting him in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
Basically,
pretty much.
I'm
Let's
gonna
just,
go along and try and keep it as civilized as possible.
Let's just worry about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Th-
Well,
there's
that's
no choice.
that's my plan, but that's not an option apparently, and I don't want to be here when and if things go south. I don't want to be anywhere near here.
There's just going to be a dragon that shows up, that's all.
I don't believe that there will be a dragon that shows up, but I do believe he is hiding something.
Obviously.
Well, we all do. That's the thing.
But now I'm
We just
convinced
have
which is the-
differing opinions on how to deal with it.
Yes.
I'd be curious what is everyone's thoughts on what is happening? Why don't we have everyone share what their thoughts are in the situation? What is truth? What is false?
I think that he's a spy.
I think he's in league with the
I don't
cult.
think he's directly hostile, and we need to find more about it in a civilized way rather than confront him head on. And that can wait for the morning.
Giron, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think he's in league with the cult.
Erlogas, what are your thoughts?
I do not wish to speculate.
Okay, Geth, what do you think?
I think he's in league with cult. I think he's made a secret deal with them and doesn't want to reveal all the facts.
So, Erlogas, do you tell them that he admitted that he did like beg for his life and made a deal with them? Because he did say he made a deal with the guy.
I would assume that would be in the first part of the story.
So then he's in league with the cult. Okay, great, perfect.
Yeah, I believe he has dealt with the cult.
Yeah, that was the point where Uthgar grabbed his weapon and left.
Well, no.
About a 3.
So okay, so basically so Uthgar left when he says that the guy
he pleaded for his life and his village's life.
His village's life. That's when Uthgar leaves.
Yeah, that's the point where he thinks he's in league with the cult. And
Uthgar isn't positive he knows what's happening, but he's positive he's about to find out.
He doesn't know what happened, but he knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, more or less, yes.
Yep. I just don't want to jeopardize our relationship with the king of the Misty Forest by offing the leader of this village and without any proof.
We haven't even heard about Kylo's part of it.
Because we don't have any proof. All we have is just what we think. So it's.
Well,
I'll continue to try and persuade Uthgar to.
Well, unless we catch up with Uthgar, I don't think we'll get a chance.
I can catch up with him. Unless he can move 90 feet.
I can't if I want to, but I'm not sure how far away the hut is.
Yeah, no, Erlogas can move faster than you.
Yeah, no, he can, probably. It's just, I'm going to keep walking.
Yeah, so it's a matter of how long he waits.
Well,
it doesn't matter how far away
I'm not
is the
going to
guy's
wait.
hut.
I'm going to go with him and basically try and persuade him. It's like I've got Hunter's Mark on him right now.
Hunter's Mark lasts an hour.
Yep.
And
it's only been about 10 minutes.
We're going to give him a chance to run away? I don't think so. We're about to find out what's going on, and I continue walking.
And I tell him...
I don't try to act like I don't try to give, like, any outward appearance to the rest of the village. I'm not, like, sword out, ready to rock. I'm just as I was dressed before. As I was ready before, but walking towards his hut.
And I'm going to tell him, please do it in a delicate manner. Please do not go in full guns or sword blazing hostile situation. I do believe he is hiding something, but I do not believe it is necessarily as dire as we believe. I came to the group to try and get assistance in helping with this, but not ruining everything that I just did.
If we had a problem with people that are hiding something or lying about something, like, we would never finish any council meeting at Waterdeep because it's all politicians.
I'd ask you to come with me, but
you have detect thoughts.
Well, I'd ask you to come with me so I can do that while you're confronting him again. But if you don't want to come, that's okay.
I'm coming with you no matter what. I'm trying to keep this as diplomatic as possible, but
I keep running. Well, I don't run. I keep walking towards this place. I'm not necessarily going to use detect thoughts. You don't know what
I don't care if you use detect thoughts. I just don't want you to go killing him.
That's fine. I do have some sympathy for the guy. I'm probably not going to kill him.
Question:
We'll see how the
which
DM
part
runs
of the third of the story did I get through if he has sympathy?
Yeah. Uthgar is
At 1/3 of the story, you probably haven't gone to Ilos.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So I'll continue with him and be like, by all means, use detect thoughts on him. I'm perfectly okay with that. He is hiding something, and I want to get to the bottom of it. His bird seems to be quite useful too. Can you cast that on 2 people?
That has to have an int of 3 or higher.
Raven's kind of smart.
And
Yeah, I don't know how that
any
Raven
language.
was so smart as to like tell
If
you
it has
all
an
that.
int of 3, if it has an int of 4 or higher and speaks a language, then yes, it works.
Okay.
But I would just kind of assume that detect thoughts doesn't work on a bird.
I
It
mean,
could, I don't know.
birds might have thoughts, but he doesn't speak a language, so.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Though no, I've had him clearly speak with you.
He's a smart bird.
Yeah,
He's a familiar bird.
you don't have like speak with animal.
Hell no.
I really should have. Yeah, I was kind of like just giving you that. You were actually you thought it was really weird that you were able to speak with the Raven, but you somehow were. You don't know how though. I know how, but you don't.
The Raven is a baneful polymorphed human.
That's what I thought. I thought that Raven was Iris.
Sarah cast some kind of ability on me, and I'm able to be more one with nature for 24 hours.
Yeah, that's actually it. That's
So
what I
I'm
decided a
still
couple
going.
minutes ago.
Okay, so we make our way back there with however many or few people there are.
So do you? So Geth, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna... Well, I'm just gonna let him politician him, I guess.
Yeah.
Get ready in case the fireworks happen.
Yep. When you guys do this, you guys all you walk in, and when do you knock or what? The door is closed.
Oh no, I just
He
I
knows
just
we're
kind
supposed
of
to be coming back. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
well
walk
look, my plan was not to knock. It's once I got within 30 feet of like I'm assuming there's some sort of window to his
Okay,
place.
so you get up to his place.
Just a moment.
Alright.
I want to confirm. Garon, you're still packing up and leaving town?
Yeah, I am leaving.
I'm right with you.
already gone.
Okay.
All right.
Me too.
When I get to within 30 feet of presuming there's a window and I can see inside, I will cast Misty Step and appear inside his hut. I won't move. I'm just going to be standing
So
there.
Uthgar, how many spell
Fine,
slots
looking
do you have
closely.
left? Because you've used like 6 or something.
I've used 2 and I got back on a short rest. Oh, and 1 first level for comprehend languages.
Okay, but you didn't. No, you also said how many healing spells you used. I thought you said you used
I used all my
4.
lay on hands.
I know you used all your lay on hands. Okay, as long as
Yeah.
you're keeping track of it.
Yeah. I get the 2 back on a short rest from the warlock.
I'm trying to decide whether or not you have whether you should have that.
That
You
worked.
said we were resting for at least an hour.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. Okay, cool.
So, plus like sitting down, having dinner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We had
Sounds
a
good.
relaxing evening. Bonus action Misty Step in there. I just stand there still, stare at him.
You see an elf.
Say,
You see an elf lying in bed, and a bird in its cage.
excellent.
Well, probably sitting cross-legged meditating.
With that,
He's
I will cast Darkness and go over and grapple him.
as you come in, he says, "Erlogas," and then suddenly everything is dark. Do elves have dark vision?
It doesn't matter. It's magical darkness.
It's
You can't
magical
see 30
darkness.
Okay.
dark vision.
Uh,
I can
he's-
see him, but he can't see me.
Then suddenly, as you grab him, you hear cawing.
At this point, I will say, "Where is the dragon? Please don't make us do this the hard way."
You're gonna have to make a grapple check. He did know you were. I mean, he can see you. You have advantage, but you'll still have to make the check.
Yeah,
But
I'll
you
be
have
able to
no
miss that.
issue making the check.
I'm just gonna hold him to his bed, not hardly, like I'm not like choking him or anything, but just saying, "Listen, we know the deal is, we know you're lying. Where's the dragon?
He
Either tell me now, or I'm going to break into your mind and get it for myself.
He is like,
let's do this easily.
He is speechless. He's like scared shitless. He's like, what the fuck is going on? He doesn't know how. He can't reply. He's in too much shock. He's in a state of shock.
At this point, do I walk in?
If you choose to walk in, yes.
Yes, I'm going to come in. I'll be like, I tried to tell you that it's not worth hiding things. Please, go into more detail about Ivos and this whole situation.
As he hears this, because he can't see anything, he can't see shit. He will hear the sound of my blade being taken out of its sheath, however.
I'll tell Uthgard, put it away.
Nope. I mean, you can't see me doing this either. You hear the sound.
If he's able to hear it, I'm assuming I'd be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you hear it.
See it.
That's good enough for me to say put it away.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll say, sadly, I need to use a resource. We will not give him a chance to run and hide his treachery. Doomed his village, and for that he shall answer. It is his choice how he shall do so.
As you take, are you actually taking this sword out, or are you using like minor?
Oh yeah, no, I'm powering him up. At some point, if he doesn't answer, does he start to answer after he hears that, and he's to the bed? He hears everyone. He hears the other guy come in, telling you, I warned you.
He's like, okay. He doesn't sneeze.
I was like, damn, that's a hardy dude.
He's like, okay, just, can you put it away? And then no. The sword then begins to you become, the sword's starting to take over control of your mind, and it's saying
31 charisma save. I'm okay.
Okay, well, the sword is just tells you, he says that he is your enemy.
Fair enough.
Do my bidding.
You make a good point, and I will cast a Tech Thoughts. The darkness will go down, but all he will see is a giant guy clad in plate mail, with black plate mail, putting him to the bed, a sword smoking wreaths around his hand, pointed to his neck, as he feels me breaking into his mind.
Okay. Give me a... What's the save on that?
It's wisdom. I can do it twice. It requires concentration, so that's why the darkness got dropped.
1 second.
I get his surface thoughts anyways, and I'm gonna guess nervousness is probably in his prime of his mind. But if I get this one, I get his,
Yeah, could somebody look up that spell and just read it to me verbatim?
I got it right now.
Is this something that Hazaron has, or
no? This
is something Hazaron has.
Oh wait,
it's a spell. Right, for the duration,
well, if you cast that, the darkness is going to go away.
Yeah, that's why I said the darkness.
He already said that.
He sees me.
Okay,
so
because
for the
Hazaron
duration,
can prevent you from using that if you want.
It's a long description, so you have to sit for a minute. For the duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures. When you cast a spell, and as your action each turn until the spell ends, you can focus your mind on one creature within 30 feet. He has an int, he can speak, so this works. You initially learn the surface thoughts, what's most in their mind, etc. As an action...
He is scared shitless. That's what's foremost in his mind.
No, you can either shift your attention to another creature's thoughts or attempt to probe deeper into the same creature's mind. If you probe deeper, the target makes a wisdom save. If it fails, you gain insight into its reasoning, if any, its emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind, such as something it worries over, loves, or hates. If you succeed, the spell ends, or if the target succeeds, the spell ends. Either way, the target knows you are probing its mind, and unless you shift your attention to another creature's thoughts, the creature can use its action on its turn, so after I get its thoughts, to make an int check contested by my int check. If it succeeds, the spell ends. Questions verbally directed at the target creature naturally shape the course of its thoughts, so the spell is particularly effective as part of an interrogation.
Great.
You can use this spell to detect the presence of thinking creatures, etc., etc.
He makes the save. So what happens on a save?
The spell ends. I cast it again.
Okay.
I can do it twice.
He is still scared shitless, though he knows that you're definitely antagonistic.
Yep.
He saves again.
Damn, boys, bamf. Well, alright. I will lie to him and say I can do this all night. You feeling my pressure in my mind and you will crack eventually. Tell us where the dragon is.
He says, I don't know where the dragon is.
Who does?
Hazaron says to you,
I'll speak up as well and be like, just tell me what you, just tell me everything about Ivos. You're hiding something. If you tell me that.
He says, okay, I already told you everything I know. I might have fabricated a few things, but it was for a good reason. I can explain everything.
Explain it now, or my friend is quite ready to kill you, unfortunately, as much to my dismay, but CDAL says I can't do anything about it.
One second.
5 seconds ago.
At least this isn't a gold dragon that can polymorph into a full dragon and your ass. At least you're not dealing with that. That's a bonus.
True. It's the small things in life.
Could be worse.
Yeah, if you had a
Hey,
full...
I could not be here.
If you had an ancient gold dragon in your hands and there were only 2 of you there, you would...
Well, if it's an ancient gold dragon, it's CR way too many anyways, and it wasn't going to end well for us regardless.
The trick is, don't run faster than a dragon, just run faster than Uthgar.
Oh no, if there was an ancient dragon attacking him, Uthgar would go down fighting. He would be so happy.
Hazaron says, I've seen him before.
Telepathically, I ask where.
We're going to kill him.
Okay.
Hazaron is not replying to you. You feel that Hazaron is like really wants you to slit his throat.
The blade will inch closer to the man's throat.
He says, "Okay, I'll tell you everything. So what I told you was true. I did, after seeing him kill the man kill my wife. I got on my knees and I begged for my life and the life of my village. This is true." And Hazaron, now at this point, Hazaron says, in your minds, Hazaron's like, he is an enemy of Netheril. Finish him.
He doesn't have to encourage me to kill this guy. I'm just letting him give me more information.
And then he says, okay, so that all is true, but the part about Ivos, I did make that up, but I can explain.
Inching a little bit closer.
Explain now.
I am trying to, but I kind of have there's a sword sticking inside my neck.
I'm gonna give him a little prick, but not much of one.
He doesn't like a little prick.
I will withdraw the blade just slightly.
He says, okay, Ivos isn't real.
Continue.
He says there is no Ivos. I made Ivos up. You see,
Why?
I was the one who met with the elf. I had to meet with him in order to give him information, but to give him information about the other settlements. Just like I said, I had to give him the information in order to save my own village, but I wanted you to. I felt it was important that you know where we were meeting. That's why I made up Ivos, and the fact that someone else was meeting with him. I didn't want to, incriminate myself anymore. But I thought the information was important.
I don't care about that.
Oh, Uthgar does. Uthgar does.
But you made up this whole process for no specific reason. I was on your side. Why hide that?
He says, I wasn't thinking rationally. My wife died. My city is in shambles. Half of my city is dead. Weird outsiders have come in. I have a sword to my throat.
That if you would have just came clean, the sword wouldn't have, or axe or whatever it is, wouldn't have come anywhere near your throat. I told you, you should have told me the truth the first time.
He says, I did. Hazaron says, Walgrith.
You lied about something.
Hazaron says, Walgrith doesn't think you told the truth, and Walgrith doesn't care. Fucking Erlani. God damn Erlani.
What is Erlani?
Give me a history check.
Oh, well, this should be cute. Wow, DC 10, that's one of the higher ones I've ever hit.
You're not sure, though, Erlogast, you do know. Erlogast, do you remember out of character what it is?
I'm assuming the sword is talking to him psychically, so I wouldn't hear any of this.
Good point.
I will turn to you and say, who the fuck is Erlani?
Now what was your asking before I interrupted you?
Do you remember it? Do you remember? We mentioned the name Erlani earlier.
Erlani, was that the treant?
Close. No, Erlani was a Erlon was an elvish kingdom. Erlon was an elvish kingdom. Adamar was the Erlani elf who worked with the Treants. Okay. The Treants' leader's name was Turlong. Turlong was guardian over Hellgate Keep, which used to be the city of Askelhorn.
Okay. I'll tell him it is a elven civilization that is quite dear to these people.
And then this guy's like, but and he points at Uthgard. He says, do you know who he is? Erlogas, can you please help me?
I'll tell Uthgar, is like, Uthgar, everything I have learned so far, I do not believe he is a threat. And if you trust in me at all, stand down.
I will look back. I will inch the blade slightly closer. I will nick his neck slightly, and then try to sheath Hazaron. I got a feeling you've been waiting for me to try to do this. And in my mind, I will speak to Hazaron. I will say, why waste our talents here on this pathetic piece of crap pissing himself in his bed? Let us go chase a true fight.
As you try and
sheath
Hazaron, you notice that Hazaron does not fit inside your sheath.
Yeah, no, that's a problem. It happens sometimes. You know, you get a little excited.
That's all men.
What languages do you speak?
Common and Draconic.
Hazaron starts speaking to you in a language you have never heard.
I say, dude, man, we go through this every time you start doing this. God damn it. And I cast Comprehend Languages. First level spell slot.
Hazaron suddenly says, this man is my mortal enemy. You are an impediment. Assist or die.
Buddy, we've been through this a dozen times. Just not worth it. You want fights, you want power, and I will bring you what greater power than striking down a dragon. Excuse me, sorry. A dragon and those were the cursed Wyrmspeakers, these Tiamat who seeks to wreck the lands in your old empire of Netheril.
Uthgar takes 6 necrotic damage. Woo. Your hand hurts a lot. Your hand's starting to burn. Or rot. Your hand is starting to rot away. And your skin's like rotting away, and you feel like it aging.
I'm gonna cast Goodberry as I see his hand starting to rot, and go, here, eat some.
Okay.
I want to start fighting to shove him back into the sheath.
Can I pull out pom-poms and start cheering?
As this is happening, he says, Erlogos, I don't think you know who you're dealing with. Get everyone now.
Who's saying that?
The elf.
The elf?
Galen.
I will look at him. I will look at the elf, by the way, who I'm still standing over grappling, and say, I told you should have just told me from the get-go.
And I'll try and be like, okay. And kind of nudge Uthgar back into the living room area. Be like, let's try and face ourselves here briefly.
I'm not 100% sure what I'm allowed to do and not allowed to do at this point.
Say something and we'll figure it out.
Oh.
What are you trying to
allow
do?
him to nudge me out, and I will look at the man in the bed and say, curse you for making me go through this just to find out the truth.
Okay. Take another 3 points of necrotic damage.
Okay. At this point,
okay.
I will bonus action Misty Step out of the building. I don't care if I got to fall or whatever. I'm going to start running into the woods.
So you are Misty Stepping into the woods.
Yep.
Okay, 1 sec.
I don't want to be anywhere near my party.
As this is happening, you suddenly Hazaron, you feel you feel something a vision come into your mind, and you feel like you're becoming one with Hazaron, and you see what might be like a crystal ball, but you're standing next to this crystal ball, but this crystal ball is huge. You see yourself standing there, but this ball is 150 feet in diameter. It burns your eyes. It's so bright. But you see, like, as you cover your eyes, but you can't keep them. You need to open them, and you see dimmer shadows and shapes moving across the surface of this crystal ball.
Event Horizon type shit. Have you ever seen the movie Event Horizon?
No.
There's a scene that this is eerily similar to a particular scene. In that
Wasn't
movie.
there something else you guys said was like identical from a movie or something?
Yeah, I said that because I thought the bird was ILS or not ALS, whatever the word was. I thought it was similar to Harry Potter.
Oh, I actually was referring to a different session. You did not say the Harry Potter thing today.
Yeah, you did.
I said the Harry Potter thing today.
Oh, well, I didn't hear it. No, there was.
I wrote it in chat.
Oh, okay, that's why I didn't see it. Somebody said something like this is similar to like a book or a movie or a couple sessions back.
I mean, you're gonna run across it. There's only so many like ideas and ways to describe things.
Exactly.
It's just happen naturally. It's not anybody's fault. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, no.
Tropes.
But yeah, in the movie, there's a giant big ball that reflects and like sucks in your. Like it's like a symbol. It's like a symbolism of the soul sort of deal, like a gateway to hell or whatever. So that's why I just said that. I guess I try stealing myself and channeling in through Tempest to prepare myself for whatever fight lays ahead.
Okay. So what is the rest of the party doing while he is doing that?
I'm on my way to Waterdeep.
You are probably about 8 hours travel from Waterdeep.
All right.
I have no idea where. I'm following the guy around where he's going.
Yeah, I mean, at this point,
we have no
at
idea
this
what's
point,
going on,
in Giron's eyes, Uthgar's actions are going to jeopardize the relationship between
you don't know about Uthgar's
the
actions.
elves of this forest and the Council of
We
Waterdeep.
know that he was
So
headed
he's going to head to
straight for the
Waterdeep
guy,
to try and
we
play.
know him
Okay,
well
guys,
enough
one
to
at a
probably
time.
draw his sword.
One at a time.
That's what we know.
Okay.
Well, we've adventured with Uthgar long
That
enough
is
to
true.
know his methods. So basically, Giron's going to take the initiative. He's on his way back to Waterdeep to inform at least his. He's going to engage at least his contacts.
Okay.
Ask for what to do. I'm not sure if I would know who his faction leader is, but I would definitely report his actions if I know which faction he is.
Okay. You do know what
But
faction he
I
is.
strongly believe that whatever he stomped off to do is going to jeopardize the relationship between the council and the king of the Misty Forest, and we can't afford to lose any allies in this fight. So I want to try to play damage control with whatever transpires.
Great.
That sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
I'm doing that too.
I mean, the only reason I have to, because Adventurers League doesn't allow PvP. Otherwise, I would have tried to stop it myself. But I don't want to have like a weird PvP session going.
Yeah, I totally would have cast enchantment on him if it was allowed.
Yeah, I didn't want things to devolve into a PvP scenario.
Right.
You realize that the best I was doing was an intimidation check in a really fancy manner.
Yeah, but you were losing control.
That intimidation check
but they
is
weren't
what
there.
triggers the damage relationships with the Misty Forest.
I don't think we've damaged the relationship. The only person that knows we've done a check. The reason I wanted to do it at night was A, because I was afraid the guy might run away. B, it's the best time to do it because he's by himself in his own hut. None of his villagers are around, so if he admits to anything, the only people that know it are us and him. And so right now, I don't think there's really that many damage
And when he
relationships.
tells people that you basically attacked him, who's going to hear that? The king.
I don't
Anyway,
think he's gonna
moving
say.
on.
I don't think he's gonna say shit. I think this guy genuinely feels bad, but I want to get the information out of him. I'm pretty sure he feels really pretty crappy about getting his
we
voice
just
out.
we have different
and we're headed to
methods of
Waterdeep.
approaching the situation as
I mean, as soon as you tried to crack his mind with the tech thoughts anyway, it's like he's gonna know it. And so, I mean, what do you think would be worse? Where clearly someone that's trying to intimidate you and extract information, who then lets you live, or someone that gets in. And I'm not quite sure what you guys' plan was in the morning, but it was either going to be a serendipitous way of trying to detect his thoughts, which means he would have known it eventually.
It was going to be anything but holding a knife to his throat was basically how I was going to approach it.
I was going to approach it as intimidation. Got good cop, bad cop on him and go that route.
That's literally what we did.
Well, I mean,
there's a difference between good cop, bad cop, and holding a knife to someone's throat.
I mean, in D&D.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. We're nowhere near each other. We're not talking about this.
Yeah,
You're doing your thing. We're doing ours.
We
Let's
had
move on,
a
please.
complication, and we need to. Giron is on his way back to Waterdeep anyway, because the things just went south. At least in his opinion.
Okay.
So, how much do we know of what actually is happening there? Probably not much.
You don't know anything that's happening.
None. You just assume the worst and heading back to Waterdeep.
Yeah, Giron assumes the worst when Uthgar starts marching toward the town, and that's where I packed up everything and started heading. Because we're only probably a few days, or maybe a day or two, away from Waterdeep. Or no, you said 8 hours, right?
I made that number up off the top of my head.
I think that's a
so we're
really
actually
wrong number.
we're a couple days from Waterdeep.
No,
It took us like a week to get up to the shifting glacier
it's
stuff.
about. If you look at the difference between Fanlin and Neverwinter, Fanlin and Neverwinter was about a day, maybe day and a half.
Is there a scale on here?
Waterdeep and Misty's
you're right.
Forest are about the same
Yeah,
distance.
I do remember Neverwinter Fandolin. That's right, from Lost Mines. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was like a 2-day trip or some shit. Day and a half.
yeah, like a day and a half.
Yeah, and that's the same
CB,
distance. It's the same distance, about.
Yeah, more or less.
It's a little farther.
Forest. But yeah,
Maybe it's 12
a
hours.
day and a half, 2 days.
Maybe it's a 12-hour.
Well, we could at least make it to Daggerford. At least we
Yeah.
went that far.
Oh yeah, you could totally get to Daggerford. Okay.
So what about these people?
Yeah. So Erlogos, what are you saying to this elf?
I'm going to tell him pretty much this happens quite a bit. His weapon is sentient, and
He says, I don't think you understand.
I probably don't, and he has enough sense to run out of here. So I will stay here and do the best I can to offer my assistance. But this is a cause of not telling me the truth in the first place.
He says, I did mess up there, but
It was not worth the trouble of keeping this quiet.
he says I don't think you right now we have another concern in addition to the dragon.
I agree. And
We have our mortal enemy is in the forest. The Netherese are here.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he means the
dead.
sword.
He means Uthgar.
Yeah.
Ah.
And I'll tell him, like, I perfectly understand that, and I will do my best to protect this entire place and him as well as best as I can. He is a patriot of mine. But
He is not convinced. He is very worried. And
I tell him he has 100% reason to be worried. And I'll tell him if you wish, I will track and follow him to make sure he does not cause any harm to anybody else.
he says I think we need more than one person.
If you
Sorry
wish,
for taking us off track, guys. I didn't think it'd go this far.
Prepare, if you wish, go ahead and prepare the town in case of his return. I will follow him and try and give my best heads up to anyone who could possibly be in his way, at least until he is able to calm himself.
Okay, so going back to Uthgar, you see this giant. You're having this not dream, but it's like a vision. But you see yourself, and you. What are you doing? You can like you can. What are you doing? You're like in this thing. You're in front of this giant crystal ball.
I'm trying to reach out to Tempest. Trying to channel my inner personal being to fight whatever is causing me to have this disturbing image.
Okay, give me a charisma check.
Save. How did you do, damn? Skill? Is the check, Lauren? You don't add your proficiency, right?
Only if you have proficiency to your.
Oh.
I meant a save.
Yeah,
I wanted a save. I didn't mean a check. I wanted a save.
Well, I made a 31 earlier, but okay.
I didn't see a.
30?
When did you make a 31?
Way back at the beginning of this encounter.
Okay, yeah. That was for.
As soon as Hazron started fighting me.
Okay, yeah.
I
The
tried to exert my will.
31 prevented you from just Hazaron just killing the guy outright.
Okay, fair enough. And I'm trying to exert my will against it, so 30.
You Tempest comes to you and says, Uthgar.
What's up, boss? We got a bit of a problem here.
One sec. I want to look something up about Tempest before I give you an ominous answer.
Wow.
If you're looking for his alignment, it's neutral.
No, I want his history.
You'd have to go into the old school books.
I'm just Googling it. I'm on the Forgotten Realms Wikia, which is like the page I use the most. I have like 10 tabs open. Dude, I look so much stuff up during our games, like in order to like reference parts of the realms and stuff. It's actually really interesting to see how you guys react to different stuff.
The god of battle, and he wants to off this guy. I mean,
well, the thing is, the god of Tempest wouldn't want to. Yeah, Tempest would actually be hugely against it because Tempest likes what you call fair fights in the sense where like you throw your enemy a weapon and you say fight me. You might know you're gonna beat him, but you can still like you gotta give him a fighting chance. So killing people in their sleep isn't, or like unarmed dude pinned down on a bed, not really Tempest's thing. Like, there was no chance I was ever actually gonna kill the guy unless he like started attacking.
well,
tried to play into Hazaron's neutral evilness. They sadly don't provide you with a ton of guidance about what his motives are, but
I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna like write up an email about Hazaron for you later, or what its effect is, or we can. Have
I mean, if it's because it's getting so far afield for the group, and I hate when this happens when it's like one character is taking the time. So I'm just straight up not
Actually,
going to
I
do it.
like this because I like that Hazaron is actually being played as a disadvantage rather than just another magic item. So this is good.
I mean, I was just going to straight up use this like a.
Yeah, you.
Okay, I mean,
you don't want to know what the write-up on this thing was. It's ugly.
I mean, I've got the write-up is pathetically small.
It is definitely small.
Hazaron is supposed to be a huge disadvantage as well. And it's supposed to be uber powerful, but...
Well, no, what it's supposed to be is a Tiamat killer. Like, judging by... Because, like, I've seen her stat block and all that. Looking at it, he's designed to kill Tiamat.
Well,
and
besides
they unfortunately put it in the game in the wrong spot. It should have been like, you get to her, whatever, mountaintop lair, and then whip it out, and then like you see it sitting in a treasure hoard, and you pick it up and then you use it to smack her. Not like, oh, here it is, and I think I got it when I was like 6th level or 7th level or some crap. That's why like, I don't have the damage mode on. I don't have the other stuff because it's just pathetically overpowered. I just did the detect thoughts because I wanted to get it going. Like, I got to go down and save though.
Okay, last thing.
I know my charisma saves.
Is there any what is the relationship of Tempest to Mystra?
God, I have no idea.
Mystra is the
I saw something about that.
goddess of magic. I don't think Tempest and Mystra are too close.
Okay, Tempest says, this challenge is on you. This challenge is on you, Uthgar.
So I shall rise to meet it in your name.
The only thing Mystra would be is the use of magic in a responsible way.
Right.
If magic is not used in a responsible way, then she would not like it. I do know that much.
Who would not like it?
Mystra.
Mystara? Oh, for sure. That's
The responsible
Giron's patron deity is a Azuth, and who is very close to Mystra.
Azuth close to Mystra. That's correct.
Yep.
And Azuth is, in fact, the Azuth's stuff is pretty close to Mystra's.
So
well, technically Azuth is dead anyway, and so
Right.
basically anybody who follows Azuth is technically following Mystra.
Correct.
so you so Tempest says to you, you must fight this ancient empire of your own accord.
What?
I
don't know what it means by ancient empire. I'm assuming it means the Netherese.
He is referring to the Netherese, yes.
Okay.
And as this is happening, so what else are you doing? What are you doing after that?
At that point, I'll say, I will do the bidding of as you wish. I look forward to this great and glorious battle. Thank you for providing me with the chance to prove myself in your name and contacting me and coming to me.
And like all while you're communicating, so how Tempest communicated with you was you were you're in this. Your vision is changed. You're in this huge, giant, endless black room, and there's this 150-foot, crystal ball that's, the brightest light you've ever seen. And you're standing in front of it, and Tempest, you hear Tempest's voice from the room, from all around the room. So you are like inside this, black room with just staring at this crystal ball.
Well, sound. Do I have a weapon in my hand?
Hazaron is lying down,
If I see a weapon, I'm picking it up. It doesn't really, if I recognize it as the sword or not.
No, there's no weapon. No weapon.
Then I'm running, charging forward, bringing my fist in the air and trying to smash it into the orb.
As you punch the orb, as you punch the orb. So as you punch the orb, write down how much health do you have total. Your total HP.
Total H right now, current or maximum?
Total max.
Total max is literally evenly 100. I have 91 currently.
Okay. While this is happening, Giron, you notice a something the weave. There's been a disturbance in the weave.
What?
There's been a disturbance in the
There's a
weave,
disturbance
Luke.
in the weave where?
Oh.
1,000 voices suddenly cried out and were silenced.
Disturbance in the weave there has, young Padawan.
Does he have a blue lightsaber or a red lightsaber?
He has fists.
Black lightsaber.
Or a black
Wow, 10 points.
Take
Totally
100.
has a black lightsaber.
Uthgar, take 102 points of damage.
Yogi dogi.
Wow, what just happened to him?
I am down.
You are down. You do not need to make. You are unconscious. You do not need to make death saving throws. You think you're dead. You You can no longer think, or your mind is blank.
Yogi.
That is the end of the session.
So what just blew up on him?
Something.
Nothing blew up.
You weren't there to see it.
So what
yeah,
happened
I
is
guess.
as your as your hand reached the as your hand reached the orb, that was the last thing you everything just your life ended at that point.
Yogi.
I mean, you're still alive, but your mind is blank. That was the last thing, and then you just went unconscious, but you're not thinking in your unconscious state.
Yogi.
So, do we get XP?
Yes, let's give you some XP.
We did?
Yeah, you got a lot of XP. I mean, I killed a player today. I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you for watching, everyone.